What gets you excited? What gets you up in the morning? What is the motivation of your life? What is your passion? I have a few passions in my life, and I'm sure we all do. When you filter through all the definitions of passion, and you get past the ones that you can't use in mixed company, in the dictionary, you come up with this. A passion is any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling, such as love or hate, or a strong or extravagant fondness, enthusiasm, or desire for anything. So it's a powerful, compelling emotion or a fondness or enthusiasm or desire for anything. That's a passion. So the question is, what do you love? What do you hate? What is the greatest motivator of your life? What do you have extravagant fondness for? Some of you might say sports. Let's try new batteries. Yeah, it's pretty dead. Is it?
Nope.
All right. Hey, look at that. Sorry about that. This is the linchpin for the whole service. So some of you might say sports. Talk about passion. You say, "Oh, my passion is sports." But my guess is that it goes deeper than just sports. It doesn't lie in any particular sport, but maybe your passion truly is competition. Maybe competitiveness is your passion. Maybe you watch the sports because you like excellence. Watching athletes do what most humans can't do is what gets you excited. You're all about excellence. Maybe it's the grit and the determination of the players, their willingness to risk it all for the sake of the goal. Maybe it's enthusiasm that is your passion. Others might say that writing is their passion, or eating is their passion, sampling wine or beer, or building things, or connecting with people. Some might say that communication is their passion, or technology is their passion. Some just have their fires started with a debate. You say anything different than what they believe, and they just want to get going. Or maybe education, just saying and conveying information. Some of you may be passionate about watching things grow, just seeing something grow. So the question is, what is your passion? My most obvious passion, the one that was easiest for me to come up with, is learning. I love learning. I just love amassing knowledge in my brain. That's why nobody's allowed to play trivia games at my house, because it's just not fun for anybody but me. I also love to teach. So I get the knowledge inside of my brain, and then I impart that knowledge to others. I love doing that. I also have a passion for action movies. Now you would say, well, it's not really action movies. You're right. My passion is for the intensity and the heroism and the risk and all the innovation that's involved in watching an action movie. That's why I watch them. For some people, it's all about the passion of drama, or the passion of love, or passion of communication. So they watch other kind of movies. But those aren't the kind of movies that happen at my house. Mine mostly have to do with explosions. This is an important question for Christians. What is your passion? Because we believe that God is the one who gave us our passions. He designed us. He created our very interests. We believe in the words of Psalm 139:13 that says, "For you created me in my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." In other words, God, you created me. You designed me. You put me together this way. We believe that Christians can repeat the words of Jeremiah 1:5 and where he says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. That's an amazing passage. It means that God knew who we were before we ever were. In other words, God gave us these passions, what drives us on purpose. And that's a very encouraging thought. Some people think that the Christian life is about getting rid of our passions, as though coming to Jesus means that we somehow deny who God created us to be. We think that being a Christian means that, well, we no longer watch sports. We no longer are allowed to be competitive. We can't speak our minds anymore. We're not allowed to try to be the best, whether it's in the classroom or on the field. That somehow being a Christian means that we never get to really have fun. We have to have joy. We never get loud, never get excited or enthusiastic. I've even heard people shun those who show passion. They'll say things like, no, calm down. Don't get excited. This is a church function. I've heard people apologize for showing passion. Oh, sorry about that. I got excited. It won't happen again. That's not right. Being a follower of Jesus does not mean that we eliminate our passions. It doesn't mean that we push them down. It doesn't mean that we hide them. What we do is we ask God to hone them, to focus them. They were given to us for a reason. Jesus was a man of passion. He loved people. He hated hypocrisy. He loved God. He wept over sin. At times, he was brave, he was intense, he was even scary sometimes with how fiercely he taught people and the followers that he had. It was the passion of Jesus that drew some to him, and it was his passion that caused others to stop following him. See, there's some people who were so overwhelmed with pain and just life that Jesus said to them, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, learn from me, I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Some people needed to hear that because they were carrying the weight of the world on them, and they needed to hear that there was rest in Jesus. Others came expecting a free ride and never understood the level of commitment. And so to them, Jesus said things like, "Do not suppose I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Anyone who loves his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." Those are passionate words. He was an emotional guy. He wasn't like some of the paintings in the movies that portray him. He didn't float 3 inches above the ground, wear a blue sash, and glow. Always speaking platitudes and very nice and always quiet. He was a real man, and he lived a passionate life. John 11:35 says that Jesus wept. And he wept publicly. Now the word there is dekro, and it suggests a tender weeping. It means to shed a tear rolling down his cheek as he prays for his friends and he mourns with them. Okay? Luke 19:14 uses a different word for Jesus weeping. When he's looking over Jerusalem, he's coming to be crucified. His heart is breaking for his people, and it says, as he approached Jerusalem and saw the city, he wept over it. And said, "If you, even you, had only known on this day that I would bring you peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. The days will come upon you when your enemies will build an embankment against you and encircle you and hem you in on every side. They will dash you to the ground, you and the children within your walls. They will not leave one stone on another, because you did not recognize the time of God's coming to you." Now we only have the word wept in English. But here, the Greek uses the word kleo, which is the word for intense mourning or bewailing or grieving. This is not Jesus walking in quietly with a tear rolling down his cheek. This is an intense sobbing. His hands in fists. He's broken to his knees. His eyes are stinging. He can barely speak the words of his prayer because of the intense love he is feeling for those he came to die for and those who would reject him. Isaiah 53:3 says that Jesus was a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. His passion ran deep for people. But he also knew joy. He went to parties. He even told jokes. John 15:11 and Luke 10:21 say that Jesus was full of joy. We know from other parts of the Gospels